Hi, everyone. So our presentation today is about teamwork. To start, my name's Erin Davey, and a little bit about me is that I'm a junior and I go to Downers Grove South High School in Downers Grove. I'm a part of the Youth Activation Committee for Special Olympics Illinois. And then other things I'm involved in is other unified programs at my school, such as Go Green and the Unified Club. I also play soccer, and I'm a part of ACE, which is Athletes Committed to Excellence. A fun fact about myself is that I don't like carbonation. And then we're also asked the question what we think is the most important part of being on a team. And personally, I think the most important part of being on a team is the connections you make with everyone on your team.
I am a senior at Downers Grove South High School. I play basketball for Special Olympics in Illinois. I am a part of the Special Olympics Unified at South. I love food and working at Joy. The best part of being on a team is working together to make your goals.
Hello, my name is Reese Roper, and I'm a senior at Marion High School. I'm a part of the Illinois High School Association Student Advisory Committee. Some activities that I participate in are football, track, FBLA, Student Council, Spanish Club, Friends in Christ, and newspaper. A fun fact is I'm a lifeguard. And what I think the most important part of being on a team is being able to be held accountable and holding my teammates accountable. Without these people holding me accountable, we wouldn't be successful and we wouldn't be able to work together.
Hi, my name is Yasmin Jones. I'm a senior at Proviso East High School. I'm a part of the Illinois High School Student Advisory Committee. I play tennis and softball. I'm also vice president of the National Honor Society. Fun fact about me is I can play 3 instruments, which are the clarinet, the bass clarinet, and the alto saxophone. What I think the best part about being a part of the team is the new relationships you create with other people, and the new friendships.
All right, and my name is Miss Brawley. I am the advisor for this group and a teacher at Downers Grove South High School.
All right, so here we have a TED Talk over teamwork.
Called the Marshmallow Challenge. And the idea is pretty simple. Teams of 4 have to build the tallest freestanding structure out of 20 sticks of spaghetti, 1 yard of tape, 1 yard of string, and a marshmallow. And the marshmallow has to be on top. And though it seems really simple, it's actually pretty hard because it forces people to collaborate very quickly. And so I thought this was an interesting idea, and I incorporated it into a design workshop, and it was a huge success. And since then, I've conducted about 70 design workshops across the world with students and designers and architects, even the CTOs of the Fortune 50. And there's something about this exercise that reveals very deep lessons about the nature of collaboration, and I'd like to share some of them with you. So normally, most people begin by orienting themselves to the task. They talk about it, they figure out what it's going to look like, they jockey for power, then they spend some time planning, organizing, they sketch in, they lay out spaghetti. They spend the majority of their time assembling the sticks into ever-growing structures, and then finally, just as they're running out of time, someone takes out the marshmallow, and then they gingerly put it on top, and they stand back, and ta-da! They admire their work. But what really happens most of the time is that the ta-da turns into an uh-oh, because the weight of the marshmallow causes the entire structure to buckle and to collapse. So there are a number of people who have a lot more uh-oh moments than others. And among the worst are recent graduates of business school. It's amazing. They lie, they cheat, they get distracted, and they produce really lame structures. And of course, there's teams that have a lot more ta-da structures. And among the best are recent graduates of kindergarten. And it's pretty amazing, as Peter tells us. Not only do they produce the tallest structures, but they're the most interesting structures of them all. So the question you want to ask is, how come? Why? What is it about them? And Peter likes to say that none of the kids spend any time trying to be CEO of Spaghetti Inc., right? They don't spend time jockeying for power. But there's another reason as well. And the reason is that business students are trained to find the single right plan. Right? And then they execute on it. And then what happens is when they put the marshmallow on top, they run out of time, and what happens? It's a crisis. Sound familiar, right? Okay. What kindergartners do differently is that they start with the marshmallow and they build prototypes, successive prototypes, always keeping the marshmallow on top. So they have multiple times to fix, and they build prototypes along the way. So designers recognize this type of collaboration as the essence of the iterative process. And with each version, kids get instant feedback about what works and what doesn't work. So the capacity to play and prototype is really essential, but let's look at how different teams perform. So the average for most people is around 20 inches, business school students, about half of that, lawyers, a little better, but not much better than that, kindergartens, better than most adults. Who does the very best? Architects and engineers, thankfully. And 39 inches is the tallest structure I've seen. And why is it? Because they understand triangles and self-reinforcing geometrical patterns are the key to building stable structures. So CEOs, a little bit better than average, but here's where it gets interesting. If you put an executive admin on the team, they get significantly better. It's incredible. You know, you look around, you go, oh, that team's going to win. You can just tell beforehand. And why is that? Because they have special skills of facilitation. They manage the process. They understand the process. And any team who manages and pays a close attention to work will significantly improve the team's performance. Specialized skills and facilitation skills, the combination leads to strong success. If you have 10 teams that typically perform, you'll get maybe 6 or so that have standing structures. And I tried something interesting. I thought, let's up the ante once. So I offered a $10,000 prize of software to the winning team. So what do you think happened to these design students? What was the result? Here's what happened. Not one team had a standing structure. Not one had, if anyone had built, say, a 1-inch structure, they would have taken home the prize. So isn't it interesting that high stakes have a strong impact? We did the exercise again with the same students. What do you think happened then? So now they understand the value of prototyping. So the same team went from being the very worst to being among the very best. They produced the tallest structures in the least amount of time. So there's deep lessons for us about the nature of incentives and success. So you might ask, why would anyone actually spend time running a marshmallow challenge? And the reason is I help create digital tools and processes to help teams build cars and video games and visual effects. And what the marshmallow challenge does is it helps them identify the hidden assumptions. Because frankly, every project has its own marshmallow, doesn't it? The challenge provides a shared experience, a common language, a common stance to build the right prototype. And so this is the value of the experience of this so simple exercise. And those of you who are interested may want to go to marshmallowchallenge.com. It's a blog that you can look at how to build the marshmallows. There are step-by-step instructions on this. There are crazy examples from around the world of how people tweak and adjust the system. There's world records that are on this as well. And the fundamental lesson, I believe, is that design truly is a contact sport. It demands that we bring all of our senses to the task and that we apply the very best of our thinking, our feeling, and our doing to the challenge that we have at hand. And sometimes a little prototype of this experience is all that it takes to turn us from an uh-oh moment to a ta-da moment, and that can make a big difference. Thank you very much. Several years ago here at TED, Peter Skillman introduced a design challenge called the Marshmallow Challenge. And the idea is pretty simple.
So Mr. Wujek said that design is a contact sport. And I think the same thing can be said for teamwork. I think teamwork is a contact sport. Without making connections, without talking with your teammates or the people that you're working with, there's no way that anything can be done. So did you also notice that the bar graph, the first bar graph that he showed of the average heights of a certain group of people, for example, the CEOs alone were a little below average, but once you added their teammates, their administrative executives, assistants, they were well above average. So that just shows that someone on their own isn't nearly as good as they could be whenever they're working with others, and especially when they're working with the right people. So everyone in that group of CEOs and administrative executives were working together to achieve that common goal of getting a good height on their tower.
All right, so now that we have that fresh meaning of teamwork in our minds, we have a virtual activity for you guys. So you can either type in the link that we have on the slideshow, or you could also use your camera app on your phone to scan the QR code, and it should bring you right to the website we have for you. And this website is called a Padlet, so you can add sticky notes, and we want you to answer these questions. What does teamwork mean to you, and what kind of teams are you currently on? So if you want to add a sticky note and put your answers to those questions, that would be great. We are giving you a 5-minute timer, so it should give you plenty of time.
A grew up. A grew up.
Here, what?
What is a team? A group of.
Hold on.
A team is a group of individuals working together. This could be in the workplace, at school, for sports, clubs, at church, or in your community. One person doesn't take control of everyone, and everyone has a fair share of their work.
Some.
Examples.
Example of team, larger Lakers.
Dunder Mifflin Paper Company.
Company.
Lab.
Yeah, group. IHSA.
IHSA, SAC, the Student Activation Committee, and the Youth Activation Committee for Special Olympics.
What is teamwork? Teamwork is working together. It's a safe place for everyone to work. Everyone doing what it takes to achieve a common goal. Good communication amongst each other and completing the task in the most effective and efficient way.
How does leadership connect to teamwork? Being able to speak up and communicate takes leadership. Being an effective leader paves the way for good teamwork. And showing leadership on a team can help lead the team to success as well.
These are some of the qualities of good versus bad teammates that we thought of, but it's definitely not limited to this list. I'm sure you could think of many other qualities for good and bad teammates. So for good teammates, we're thinking respectful, inclusive, determined, focused, and optimistic. And then for bad teammates, we're thinking selfish, bossy, irresponsible, making others uncomfortable, and poor sportsmanship.
Dr. Zoidberg. Hooray for Dr. Zoidberg.
As you can tell from the video, this is an example of bad teamwork because the birds weren't really being inclusive. They didn't want the bigger board to join them, so they worked together to achieve a negative goal, which was to push or to peck the bigger bird off of the line, causing them to fly up and lose all their feathers.
Is this a good or bad teamwork?
2-2 the count. Rosario at first. In the air, right center field. Another one shallow. Here comes Braun and Gomez, and that ball falls.
Oh, goodness.
And a collision out there. Jeanette has to go get the baseball.
That's the second time that's happened tonight. I can't imagine why those baseballs are dropping like that. Maybe the wind's taking them. Maybe the wind's pushing them away from Ryan.
Okay, so hopefully you guys saw in the video that the two teammates ended up running into each other, and You could even hear the announcer say that that's the second time it happened that night. So hopefully you thought that was bad teamwork because there was a lack of communication and it ended badly because they ran into each other and it looks like someone's hurt.
It did good or bad teamwork.
How you feel, TNT? How you feel? Too tall? How you feel? Too tall? Yeah. Have that thing, son. Fly, take control, man. Yeah. Ice dummy. Can't touch this. Yeah. TNT is in the house. Can't touch this. Yeah. Here you go, here you go, here you go, here you go. Have that thing, have that thing. Yeah. Now walk it out. Now walk it out. DJ, now walk it out. DJ, walk it out.
Time running out the first half. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2. Firefly at the buzzer for the lead.
Yeah, baby. Fireflies building it, hanging it in the wind.
So as you know, the Harlem Globetrotters like to have some fun with their basketball skills. And right there it was 5-3, 5-on-3. And the Harlem Globetrotters used teamwork and their skills to overcome the 5-man team with their 3-man team and ended up getting a buzzer beater. So that was pretty good teamwork.
It did good or bad teamwork.
As you can see from this video, this is an example of bad teamwork as well because the main guy, or Michael, thought he was a better player than the rest of his team. So when they would make points and stuff, he would kind of be upset or be like, you should have passed the ball to me and stuff like that.
It did good or bad teamwork.
All play fair. Here. Yo, spaceman, don't choke now. Come on, come on, come on.
It's gut check time.
This must be mine. This belongs to me. I'm going this way, I'm going left, I'm going left. Don't ever touch the earthling.
Mike!
Get the rabbit, get the girl.
Come on, come on. I'm open. I'm open.
It's mine. Come on. Hey,
Bring it on, dude.
Daisy. You're mine. Mike, I'm open. Never mind.
That's a nice pass, man. That was a great stretch for the basket, too. You really got some skills. You might be able to play in the game.
All right, so hopefully you guys thought of that as good teamwork because as you saw, the whole team was working together to beat the bad guys in this movie. And in the end, Michael Jordan did end up scoring a basket or bucket
and the whole team was cheering for him really loudly, and it was just a good example of teamwork.
Teamwork and leadership in the virtual world. Communicating and asking more questions can only help you in today's setting. That's why we're having this conference virtually. You're watching us on Zoom here instead of in person. Hopefully they can have something in person. This is a really great conference, certificate. And maybe at school you form more study groups. Everyone is experiencing new territory, so teamwork can only help the situation, and leaders stepping up to help when needed. So hopefully by the time you've went through this certificate course, you are equipped with everything you need to be a good leader, especially in today's virtual world.
So now we have a quiz. You can use the link or you can scan the QR code, and you must pass with a 70% to move on to the next lesson.